According to Kentucky law, the use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death.
This is why we are angry! At the end of the day, like, how much is a black woman's life worth?
We stand here today to say that there is no justification for the murder of Breonna Taylor, and we will go to our graves proclaiming that Breonna Taylor did not get justice from the Kentucky Attorney General's office.
Makes you feel somewhat hopeless, because I had some hope when America witnessed George Floyd's murder that things may get better.
Say her name! Say her name!
A lot of frustration across America in major U.S. cities, including Phoenix. Protesters taking to the streets to demand justice after news that none of the 3 officers involved in Breonna Taylor's death would be charged with her killing. Instead, one of the officers is charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment in the first degree, a felony that carries a sentence of up to 5 years in prison for each count if found guilty. So in Louisville last night, 2 police officers were shot near one protest just an hour before the city's curfew was to take place as a large crowd faced off with police in riot gear.
Yes, Scott, police do have 1 suspect in custody, and we're told the officer is not critically injured, so that's good news for the community.
Officer down, right there. Officer down. Yes. Take cover. Officer down. Take cover. Officer down. Take cover.
But as anticipated, just chaos last night. This morning, the Kentucky governor has deployed 500 members of the state's National Guard. The president also tweeting that he's now praying for those officers who were shot, and he is ready to send in federal help.
Now, this all stems from that incident back in March. It was 12:40 in the morning when officers were investigating a suspected drug operation linked to Taylor's ex-boyfriend. Taylor's current boyfriend, who was with her that night, Kenneth Walker, says he did not know they were officers and thought they were just breaking into the apartment. So he fired, he says, a warning shot with his legally owned gun. Walker says the officers failed to knock or announce themselves, but during yesterday's announcement, the Attorney General says officers did knock on the door and says a witness backs that up.
Evidence shows that officers both knocked and announced their presence at the apartment. The officers' statements about their announcement are corroborated by an independent witness who was near in proximity to apartment 4. In other words, the warrant was not served as a no-knock warrant.
Officer Jonathan Mattingly then entered the apartment and Walker shot him in the leg, and that's when the officers returned fire and Taylor was killed. The only officer charged in connection with the shooting, former Detective Brett Hankinson, he has been released on bail and is facing up to 15 years in prison for allegedly endangering neighbors in that complex.
The Attorney General saying that he fired his weapon 10 times, including from an outside sliding glass door through a bedroom window on into a neighboring apartment. The president now praising how Kentucky's Attorney General is handling the situation, quoting him during a White House briefing.
Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge.
Presidential nominee Joe Biden releasing a statement on this, saying the decision in the case does not answer that call, stressing the need for political police reform.
And NBA star LeBron James also tweeting overnight, calling black women the most disrespected people on earth, adding love to you queens all over this country and beyond. Well, since the Taylor shooting, no-knock warrants have been banned in Louisville. Here in Arizona, they are still legal. Criminal defense attorney telling us no-knock warrants are designed to protect police.
So to get a no-knock warrant, officers need to give a judge an affidavit explaining why there would be danger if police were to announce themselves upon trying to gain entry. We spoke with both Maricopa County attorney candidates about this case. Here's what they have to say about no-knock warrants.
What about Breonna Taylor? we should charge the officers who shot Breonna Taylor. What I will tell everyone who is rightfully concerned with the handling of Deon Johnson's case is that it will be subject to the same sort of independent and community-involved review that every case and use of force call-out deserves. And that will be a day one priority, and it will be done in a very public and transparent way.
So I would reserve comment on that just because I don't know as much about her case. But regardless, any of these cases deserves an independent review by not just one person. It shouldn't be one person making a decision on whether or not an officer should be charged. This has to be a collective decision that has to be the voice of the community and do what's right for the right reasons.
In June, a United States Senator introduced a bill that would ban no-knock warrants for federal law enforcement officers. Right now, it is in the Judiciary Committee.